Welcome to Over 50 So What? Fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. This show is for all of us over 50. I'm Carol. Now, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? I learn something new every single show. Most of us are concerned about memory loss as we get older, and today we chat to Dr Michael Elstein about what to do if you think you or one of your loved ones is starting to experience some memory loss. One great thing for the brain is exercise. So join us after the break in the 5-minute fitness segment. It's fun and it's easy. And lastly, we meet some inspiring men and women from the JayBee Square Wheelers. Age, vision and lack of dance ability are no excuse not to get out and have some fun. We take a sneak peek into the world which is square dancing. Today on Energy for Life, we continue our conversation with Dr Michael Elstein, specialist in anti-aging and longevity medicine. We're going to continue our discussion about dementia, short-term memory loss and Alzheimer's. Dr. Elstein is a fellow of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine and the Australian College of Nutritional and Environmental Medicine. He has presented to numerous seminars around the world and has written multiple books, including The Wellness Guide to Preventing the Diseases of Aging, You Have the Power, and Eternal Health. Hi Michael, welcome back to Over 50 So What? Always a fantastic pleasure to have you chatting with us.
Very much.
Now, last time we discussed about Alzheimer's, dementia and some of the tests and assessments and some of the strategies for handling that. What signs should we look for in ourselves and others?
As we get older, our memory does deteriorate and you remember less well, and you have these tip of the tongue experiences where you can't remember celebrity names. But if your memory is starting to compromise you a lot on a daily basis, and people are remarking about it, so people are noticing you just aren't remembering things a lot and it's affecting your job, that's a real concern. You don't want to get to that stage. You want to short circuit that and stop yourself before that happens. But unfortunately, a lot of people, that's what happens. Their memory deteriorates a lot, and that's when, unfortunately, they have significant brain damage then, and it's difficult to reverse. But that's when people go and see the doctor, and then you can be referred to a neurologist. Neurologist is a brain specialist, and usually that will involve scans. You can have various scans of the brain, CAT scans, and what's called an MRI scan and other scans. And you can also have a comprehensive assessment done by a neuropsychologist. So that's a psychologist who specializes in brain function. And that will involve about quite a long battery of tests where you'll have your memory assessed in various ways. But as I said before, you don't want to get there. You want to preempt that by looking after your brain super well before you get to the stage where your memory is deteriorated dramatically. Sadly, that's what happens. That's when people see the doctor.
Yeah, so I mean, for the person who's suffering or experiencing that short-term memory loss, you might just keep asking the same question over and over again, but not be aware that you've asked that question 1 minute ago. So it's probably more likely that someone else will observe it in you rather than you observe it in yourself. Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, so people notice that you keep on repeating yourself and it's getting a bit boring. And then, I do that myself. So to my loved ones, I repeat stories. Did I tell you about blah, blah, blah? And I go, yeah, you told me about that. But if it becomes a lot, accentuated, and you're doing it a lot and often, then that's not good.
And you have to keep writing things down. That's probably some other sign that you have to start writing things down so you don't forget them. Yes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of men in particular, and I don't mean to stereotype, there's probably a lot of women in this category, but they've maybe got a family history of Alzheimer's and dementia, and they probably noticed themselves, their memory is declining, but they're just too proud to go and talk to the GP or mention it. What advice have you got for those people?
That's a hard one, how do you, and often I get that, the man comes to see me and he goes, my wife told me to come, and he has no desire to be there, and he doesn't think there's anything wrong. So how do you deal with those two things? It's very difficult and sad. Men are becoming a bit more aware that they need to be looking after themselves preemptively before they deteriorate dramatically. But it's hard to do something for someone who doesn't think there's anything wrong. But sadly, I had this a while back. I remember we did some tests, and that's when you need to do, unfortunately, scans of the brain to see how much the brain has shrunk. And if it's shrunk excessively, that's not a good thing. And blood tests, like we talked about, the vitamin levels and other things that you need for the brain, and hormones. So all those things are important to look at. But also, we've got to try and discourage people from drinking so much alcohol, because, as you know, we live in a culture where there's a lot of alcohol consumption. And while a little bit of alcohol can be okay, once you get beyond 1 or 2 drinks, 2 or 3, that's also not so good for the brain. So we've got to try and encourage men, especially, and even women now, to consume less alcohol and to look after themselves better.
For someone who's got a loved one, they've observed, some memory loss. So you say they're sending their husbands in or whatever. If you have someone, how do you approach the topic with your loved one or your friend or family member and encourage them to seek getting some tests done?
It's a good question. I'm not sure I know how. How do you say to someone, look, darling, I'm worried about your brain. You better go to the doctor and have some scans to make sure you don't have the big D, or if you want, I don't know, call it memory loss. Don't use the word dementia. Okay, that'll frighten them. So you can't say to your husband, darling, I think you've got dementia. No worries. All you have to do is go to the doctor, and then we'll know for sure how much your brain is damaged. I don't know how do you put all that across without upsetting someone? Have you had this, Carol? Because I don't know. Do you have any sense of what you need to be telling someone? Are you worried about?
I would say, darling, I've noticed that you had forgetting things from time to time. Maybe you need to go and talk to the GP to see if you've got any memory issues.
Yeah. And that's when, if the gentleman does come to see me, then I probably will, for the most part, I might do the blood tests, those things, sugar and insulin and B vitamins and hormones. Some of the things are very basic. And by the way, there's a very important chemical you need to assess for the brain called homocysteine. Homocysteine is also bad, like cholesterol, it's bad for the brain. You can do a blood test, and if you've got too much homocysteine, that can lead to brain degeneration, and there's ways to reduce homocysteine levels with B vitamins. We need to be doing all these things as a wellness assessment. But sadly, when you go to the doctor and your memories are really quite bad, you can do these nutrients and homocysteine and cholesterol and blood pressure and all those things. But usually you'll need to send the doctor to a neurologist and possibly a neuropsychologist for further assessment.
To sum up with, what are your top strategies to keep your brain as healthy as possible?
Healthy diet, very, very important for the brain. A really good diet, organic if you can, getting all the nutrients your brain needs, fruits, vegetables, protein, very important for the brain, eggs, meat, fish, or beans. Fatty acids, olive oil, fabulous. Pour olive oil on your food. Fish, nuts, seeds, avocado, great for the brain. Exercise, well, we love it. You love exercise, I know that, Carol, because you're a dancer and you do all that stuff. And then engage your brain, all these things, piano playing, crosswords, learning a new language, staying professionally engaged, socially engaged, intellectually reading. Keep your brain stimulated. We don't have to watch television so much. Read a book.
And then if you do notice a decline in yourself or others, what are some basic steps to do?
I think then you need to go and see a doctor. You need to have the tests, as I say, and it'll usually involve scans of the brain and other tests. You might need to see a neuropsychologist for a proper memory assessment, and that can be a very useful thing to do. And those tests will usually indicate where you're at, where your brain's at.
And it's been fantastic. I look forward to hearing about whatever new book you're going to come up with.
I really loved it. So thanks, Carol. Really loved it.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. And walk. If you're just starting off, you can do little ones. Otherwise, you get fitter. It's really good to get a little bit breathless every day. Forward. On the spot. Back. Again, forward. And back. Again. Back. Yes, that's it. Pump it out. Pump it out. Now we're going to walk to the right. And turn around. And back. Turn around. Just make sure there's no rugs, no carpets, no animals. Okay, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to take a bit lower. And down. Down. That's it. And back to the middle. Don't stop. 2 steps to the side. Step. Left together, left. Right together, right. Left together, left. Step. We're going to do one and hold it there. Bounce. Left together, left. Bounce. Right together, right. Bounce. Go, go arms. Right together, right. Don't stop. That's it. Have you got your go-go arms going? Come on, come on. Get those arms going. Woohoo! Back to the middle. Punch it out. Let's do it. Double. Come on, come on. Punch it out. Think of something you want to hit. Oh, did I say that? Punch it out. Come on. You know you want to punch. There must be days when you want to punch something. Are you ready? You're gonna walk. And walk. Forward. Walk. And back. And forward. Okay, we're gonna walk side to side. Ready? Go.
Stop.
And back. And down. And walk. And down. And down. Up. Down. Last one. Back to the middle. And you know what comes next? 2 steps to the right and bounce. 1, 2, and bounce. 1, 2, bounce. Right together, right. Bounce. Left together, left. Right together, right. Woohoo! That's it. Wow! Did you get your heart rate up? Boom, 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 boom. If you did, good stuff. Well done, everybody. Now, here's something you probably never heard about. I'd never seen it before. This is my very first time seeing square dancing. So much fun. Look at these guys just going and fantastic calling and singing at the same time. So if you want to have a bit of fun, I think maybe you should think about doing some square dancing.
front leg that leans back home again. Excellent. Head couples, square through 4 hands. Go right, then left, then right, then left, and you look at it.
So we're into square dancing. I've just had a go myself. That was really, really fun, really, really interesting. And I met this lovely lady called Duna.
Hello, Carol.
Hi, Duna. And Duna has been dancing all around the world doing square dancing. What do you really like about square dancing?
Oh, the fun and the moving to music and the exercise and the travel and the thinking, because you've got to sort of thinking, you never know what's coming next.
Absolutely. It's good for your brain fitness.
Yes.
And now we have the amazing Lorena. She's a caller here at the square dancing, and she's been doing it since she was 11, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And do you have to be a singer to be a caller? Do you have to have any singing training or anything?
Not necessarily, but we do quite a bit of singing as part of our square dance calling, so it does help. Yeah.
So how long does it take you to learn if someone wanted to start doing it?
It probably took about a year to get the hang of the basics and get a real feel for it.
And what's the age group of people that generally come to square dancing like today?
Well, we get all sorts of ages. Probably our average is people in their 50s and 60s, and then we've had people dancing right into their 80s and 90s as well.
So 80s and 90s, but mainly 50s and 60s at the moment. So
That's the average, yeah.
And what types of music do you use?
So we use all sorts of music. We hear a bit of country and western, we hear some rock and roll music, right up to popular hits of the 60s and 70s and some of the popular hits of today as well.
So do you think we'll hear some Adele or something to a square dance?
I don't have any Adele, but I'll try and throw something in for you.
And for anyone that's sitting at home, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, what would you say to them about if they wanted to try square dancing?
Come along, give it a go. There's nothing to lose. And it's a really fun activity and guarantee you'll enjoy it.
And here we have the really lovely and pink Wanda, looking very cute. Pink. Now, Wanda, you've been doing square dancing for how many years did you say?
A long time, probably since I was about 18.
And you're vision impaired.
I'm blind, yes. We had a square dance club down at Vision Australia, and half of the dancers had low vision or were blind, and the other half were sighted. So we would dance together as sighted and low vision, blind all together.
So if someone watching this or listening to this at the moment was also blind or visually impaired, what would you say to them about doing square dancing?
Square dancing is something you can do whether you're blind, low vision or sighted, because it's all hand contact and we're all touching hands when we're dancing. So whether it be touching hands, all the movements, 99% of the movements are touching hands, and that's why we can do it. And it's great fun, it's exercise. I've met a lot of people through here, this group, and it's good fun.
And if you're over 50?
And if you're over 50 like I am, I'm 66, and it's exercise, it's fun. It's good for the brain too, because it makes your brain work to remember the movements.
And what about someone who's never danced? I mean, you've done it for years and years and years, but let's say someone's just over 50 and they haven't danced before.
Sighted or blind, anyone can do it. Someone that's blind, sighted, vision impaired, all can have a go. Just have fun. Get out there and have fun.
Heads lead right circle. Gonna make me 2 lines in there. Right, left, through, turn mad girl, my friend. Pass through. Tag the line, face in, pass through and then tag the line, face in, star through, pass through, swing and promenade. Come on baby, let the good times roll, roll all night long.
And now we have the awesome Colin with us.
Awesome.
Yes, the square dancer, and your whole family's been doing it, haven't they?
For the last 15 years.
15 years? And you travel all over the place doing it with your family?
We've been to Queensland, and we've been to the West, and to South Australia, and Tassie.
So what got you into it 15 years ago?
The female in the family. She wanted us to do something as a group. When we first met, we were doing rock and roll. until you have a family and all that stopped. So pretty much the whole dancing thing stopped. She wanted to get something as a family.
That's a common story though. People, you know, they stop once they have a family and then go back to it later in life.
And you watch the people who've been doing it all the way through, and they're doing it like that. I'm my age, I have trouble learning stuff.
So can we ask how old you are now?
The wrong side of 75.
So how long do you think you're going to keep doing square dancing for?
100 years. Another 100 years.
Another 100 years?
I reckon I might have another, I don't know, 8 years, Jimmy.
So what do you like about the square dancing in particular?
People. All the clubs are the same, but you know, our club seems to have that ability to look after people. You get sick in this club, you'll get a card in the mail, you'll get somebody ringing up to see how you are, all that kind of stuff. It's just nice, you know.
So what happens if you're a beginner, you've never danced before, and you rock up?
You should know. You just did it before. And funnily enough, if you just get your hands by your side and listen to what Mike's calling, the people will put you the right way. There's 150 steps in Main Street and variations of them. So it'll take you a year to learn it all properly so that you can do it without listening.
And what would you say to someone sitting at home thinking, oh, that could be a bit of fun, something different?
Get up and try it. You won't learn it on your butt. Will you make a fool of yourself? You might go whoops a few times. You did.
Yes.
I watched your face and you were having a ball. Now you're probably a bit exceptional because you're a bit gregarious, but nobody, you weren't holding anybody back. Everyone was having fun with you. So you come along here and you learn stuff. And for a while you're a slow learner, and all of a sudden you go, I can do that. So yeah, don't sit at home waiting for it to happen. Get out and make it happen. Come and watch for a while until the next beginner's class starts. Good fun. I'm requesting I ever did.
That was a real experience, a real eye-opener. Can't wait to get some of those dresses on. So it doesn't matter, as you heard, doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, 80, sight impaired, you should give it a go. All you first timers out there, we hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to catch up on past episodes, just head over and subscribe to YouTube Over 50 So What. And thanks to everyone for supporting the show. We'd love to hear about your adventures and ideas for segments you'd like to see on the show. Please join our Facebook group Over 50 So What. And if you want to go and check out that memory test from Dr Michael Elstein, just head to the website carolohalloran.com or check out the details on the YouTube replay. Likewise, if you feel inspired to go and check out the square dancing, then head over to the website or the YouTube replay. So what are you doing still sitting there? Get up, get active, and try something new. I'm Carol, over 50, so what? Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50, so what?